If you've ever played old school RuneScape, you are aware of RuneLite and all the amazing plugins that it has to offer. But could RuneScape 3 actually benefit from having a similar client, or at least similar features, to what old school has with RuneLite? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on guys? My name's Valric and today we're going to be talking about RuneLite and if RuneScape needs something like it when it comes to plugins and all the features RuneLite pretty much has to offer. Before someone starts commenting it, I am aware we have Alt 1, but let's be real, Alt 1 is nowhere near the level of RuneLite, and that's something I want to discuss as well in this video, if it's actually ethical and if it's like somewhat of a cheating client, because that's some people's opinion as well. If you're going to enjoy this video, definitely consider giving it a like. It generally really helps me out with the algorithm and stuff. I know all the YouTubers say it, but seriously, it helps me getting these videos to new people, and if you want to support me, that's probably the best way you can do so. Also, if you're going to enjoy these videos and you haven't subscribed just yet, definitely click the subscribe button. So on the road to 1000 subscribers, that's when I can monetize my channel and where I can use the money to improve my setup, like for example getting a better microphone. And also I would just really appreciate it. And if you going to just have your opinions on this and just everything in general, like do you think we need a RuneLite? Do you think we need plugins? Or do you think Alt 1 needs to expand? Or do you think RuneScape itself needs to add plugins? Because old school is actually adding plugins themselves in their own client, like tile markers, which I would so love to see in RuneScape 3, but we'll get into that in a second. Do you think RuneScape 3 does need these things? Let me know in the comment section down below. Definitely give me your guys' opinion. I always like to read them. Without further ado, let's get into this discussion video. So I think a very good place to start is what we have right now. We have Alt 1, and I like Alt 1 for what it is, because I think Alt 1's main use, at least for me, has always been clue scrolls, like helping it with the puzzle box. I think barely anyone would really sesh out clues on RS3 with the puzzle box we have, because puzzle box on average are like 150 steps. They're way too long, and I know that everyone that I tell to do clues is like, oh, I can't be asked with the puzzle box. They show them Alt 1 and it's like, oh, actually, clues are a lot of fun right now. And in general, I do think that's just, people think it's cheating, but I don't know. Like, genuinely, it just makes it more fun. And if it wasn't for Alt 1, as I said, not a lot of people would be doing a lot of clues. And people would say like, oh, well, the clue price would be higher. Dude, the clues make a ridiculous amount of money as it is right now. In like 10 days of playing, given I don't have a job right now, but like 10 days of gathering clues and solving them on stream, I solved 500 hard clues, given I'm a bit more experienced when it comes to clues, and I made 700 mil without any rares. That's a lot of money, and that's consistent money. Obviously, I could also go to Croesus, which kind of happened, and made 1.2 bill a day after, but that's besides the point. That's not the point, but it's because it's money, it's good money, and it's just, it doesn't need to be any better, and dice are just going up and up and up and up anyway, so that's not a problem. But as I said, some people consider it as cheating, and as I said, Alt 1 doesn't have that many features. I think the only real overpowered feature is the clue solver. The rest, like the dungeoneering helper or the AFK warden, or you know, the thing that pings you when your health gets low, they're useful, but I don't know. I don't think they're that good, especially compared to some RuneLite features, which we'll get into in a moment. But is it actually cheating? I don't know. Like, on one hand, you could say it is cheating because it generally is helping you out. But then again, another very useful add-on to Alt 1, which is not in the native version that you have to add yourself, but it's confirmed by Alt 1 themselves, by the developers of Alt 1. And by the way, Alt 1 has been confirmed by RuneScape that you're allowed to use it, so it's not cheating on their end, and you won't get flagged because it's an overlay. It doesn't directly interact with the game. It just overlays something to help you out with, for example, your clue scrolls, or in this case, Alt 1, where, with Croesus, where at Croesus, it is pretty much just a timer. And I mean, what is the difference between having your own timer set that beeps at all the marks where Croesus will drop a special attack in its order with like different sounds for each attack, compared to someone else making it and you using it? The only thing is that the first option just takes a little bit more time, but then again, a friend could just send it to you and you still need to dodge the mechanics and it doesn't do anything for you. And that's why I don't think it's cheating at all, because it's just helping you and it's doing something that you know, you could do on your own, or that you can do on a website. Like, people say that the clue solver is cheating as well. Dude, there's been clue solving websites where you could just upload a screenshot of your clue on a website, which obviously Jagex could never know you do, and then it would show you which steps you would have to take to finish your clue scroll. It is just quality of life at this point to have it well, at least in this case, overlaid on top of the game. Although I would love to have a better clue solver, which if you miss a step, you know, it stops with the like squares that move around, like it has in RuneLite. And that brings us into RuneLite, because RuneLite did have, and I think to a certain extent still has, some very powerful plugins that, you know, you could say that are a bit overpowered. But then again, it is also a little bit of quality of life. And what I mean with overpowered plugins, like the one that always comes to mind for me is the one with gorillas. Like, are they called tortured gorillas? Or at least the gorillas that drop the Zenite charge, which are like 13 to 15 mil, which obviously is a lot of money in old school RuneScape. It had the prayer icon that you needed to pray on top of the prayer it was praying itself. If that makes any sense. And it pretty much helps you to switch your prayers. And people said it was cheating. It's now banned as well by RuneScape itself. And all the RuneLite plugins are now run by RuneScape itself, or old school RuneScape in this case, because they're working together. It's actually going to be added to the official Jagex client as well. But that one, for example, was flagged for being unfair. And even that one, to me, like, I'm someone with very poor eyesight. For me, it's very difficult to see the animations, and like a big arrow or a big magic emblem is way easier for me to see than a small animation. And for a game of RuneScape that claims to be all about accessibility, which they said that they care a lot for, that's not very accessible for someone like me who can't see it. And that in RuneLite was pretty much just an accessibility thing as well. And I think that is pretty much what a plugin should be, and that's what it should be adding, and that's where I think it should come into RuneScape, and that's where I think it should be an implementation, is quality of life, and giving things to the community that would otherwise take up a lot of dev time. And you could say, oh, how much time could like a tile marker take up to implement in the game? Well, probably it's not as easy, and you know, all these quality of lives that people are just adding themselves to RuneLite, that RuneLite then clears, and then Jagex clears to RuneLite. Jagex, as I said in another video, is underfunded. Let's be real. Like, they need funding. They make the profit. Well, Jagex, the company, makes enough profit to fund the actual development team, but it doesn't get the funding that it would actually need to do everything. Let's be honest about it. It's just not happening. And, you know, asking all these quality of life changes that in a way the community can do, obviously have like one JMod to run it by to see if it's not like, you know, doing something dirty within the game or like breaking the game or whatever, would genuinely really help with a lot of just in the development in general, but also with just quality in life. Something like tile markers would be amazing. As I said, at Croesus, for example, there's a specific tile you can stand on when the mid-energy fungi spawns where you don't have to move. And you know, you will remember it after a couple hundred kills, but, you know, marking something like that, or like marking a clue spot, just would be very useful. And it's just a quality of life. And I mean, you could also remember it, and you could say that's a piece of skill, but is it really? Or are you just gatekeeping the fact that you remembered all those locations yourself, and that you would feel bad that other people do not have to, that they can just mark it with a tile? I don't know. I personally think it would just be a quality of life. But even thinking like the Towelman that Settled is currently doing, or the Bronzeman mode that I think Frame did, where it's pretty much Iron Man mode, but as soon as you collected one of the items, you could buy it off the Grand Exchange, and it would pretty much just gray out all the items that you could not buy, or even like you could not even find them on the Grand Exchange. I don't know how it did that, but pretty much it did that thing, and it pretty much added a whole new game mode to RuneScape from just the community. And it's the same with like the One Chunk account, where, you know, you have this thing that just randomly rolls chunks, and where you can see chunk lines and stuff like that. And little things like that would be great to have added to RuneScape 3. And As I said, all other sorts of quality of life and like markers or object markers and just the simple things. And as I said, old school RuneScape is even adding it to the native client, like just on Steam or, well, I'm pretty sure on the Jagex launcher very, very soon. And why don't you just let the community make it for you? As I said, have it fully open source, just like RuneLite is. Have it run by a developer that goes over the code to see if it doesn't break anything within the game, or that it's not like some way of cheating or botting or against the rules or whatever. And then there would just be so much more quality of life within RuneScape 3 itself. And as I said, for me, it would mainly be tile markers and a bit of an updated clue helper, especially with the puzzle boxes, so that, you know, when you miss a tile, you don't have to fully reset it, click over it again, and then quickly have to, you know, go on with solving your clue scroll. It would just be nice quality of life. And that's exactly what I think a RuneLite version of RS3 should be. It's quality of life. It shouldn't make the game easier. It should just be adding things like tile markers, even game modes like bronzeman mode or tileman mode. And that's it. That's all it should be. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think something like RuneLite would fit within RS3? Or do you think that it's just, you know, nah, it's just cheating. We already have enough. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. It's just my opinion as per usual, and I always love to discuss with you guys. As I said, if you're going to enjoy this video, so giving it a like, generally really helps me out. We're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so helping me out with that as well would also be appreciated. And without further ado, my name is Elric, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.